Greetings, my most excellent friends and fiends, and welcome to Season 2 of D&D Surprise Party. I am, of course, your humble dungeon master, ye old dragon. Now, you might be wondering, why are you talking like this? Well, I thought, give it a little bit of an upshot, but the hell with it anyway. So, how's everybody doing? Have you missed us? Because we've missed you. Okay, just to let you know, I have turned off my chat, so I won't be able to see anything that's going on in the chat anymore tonight. I'll be watching it later on tonight, so no worries. But thank you everybody for coming by. So here we are, back again with an all new group of players in an all new world, the World of Huurkuun. And I hope you like it, because I've been building this setting for over 35 years now. And tonight we shall begin to see the fruits of my labors. But we have much more important things to get to tonight. For example, we are thrilled, we are honored to be raising money for Jasper's Game Day, because you are not a critical failure. And they raise money for suicide prevention and awareness, and that's what we're here for tonight. We are raising money, and you should be able to see right up above me there, we have a bar. We have our first goal set at $500. Now, friends and fiends, come on. I know we can smash through that. And we'll get into the details of the donation tiers in just a few minutes, because I know these players are dying to know who they are playing with. And I would have to say that it might be mean to keep them waiting any longer, because some of them have been waiting for about, I would say maybe like 4 or 5 weeks now. But, well, there are some people I know in the chat that know exactly what they feel like. So let's just get right into it. First of all, of course, I have our wonderful offstage Oracle Babs the Bat in the control room tonight. So, dear Oracle, kindly send me player 1 and let's get started, shall we? Hello, Celine.
Hello.
Welcome to D&D Surprise Party.
Surprise.
Surprise. There we go. So, you have been waiting longer than anybody else. You have been stressing and straining not to tell people.
It's been killing me. Absolutely killing me.
And you've been holding on to the secret for what, 4 or 5 weeks now? Well, don't worry, because it's about to pay off.
Oh, okay.
Offstage Oracle, please send me a vision of player number 2. Hello, Trav. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
So, yes, there we have it. Player number 2. Trav was our second session 0. So he's only been waiting a little bit less than you, Celine. So no,
2 days. 2 days less than me.
2 days less. So,
all because I happened to roll the lowest.
That's really something that we'll get into in just a few moments, because I'm sure the audience will be very interested in that roll. So, but let's not keep anybody else waiting, and let's not keep anybody in suspense, even though it's terrible.
You're doing this on purpose. This is mean.
It's killing me. I hope it lasts.
What? I don't have a mean bone in my draconic body, my dear. But anyway, offstage article, kindly send me player number 3 to show I'm not a meanie. Hello, Lydia.
Hi, Lydia.
Hi.
Hi.
So there we go. Player number 3. So surprise. Look who else is here with us. So let's see now. You had a little bit less of a wait than they did because your session 0 was the week after theirs.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So, but let's not keep anybody else in too much suspense much longer. So, oh dear Babs the Bat, kindly bring me player number 4. And I know somebody's going to be tickled pink about this.
Oh,
No way.
well, that's incredibly awkward. Yeah.
Yes, Claude Rains is our player number 4.
The invisible Big B.
So sorry.
Big
This
B's
is an
invisible
interesting
hand.
group
The
of
Big
people.
B's invisible hand. Big B's
I'm
invisible
here now.
everything. Hi, Big B.
Hello.
So, Celine, how surprised are you that Nate's here?
Really surprised.
You
glad
too,
we
Nate?
changed. I'm
Yeah.
glad we changed our schedule. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
It has been quite difficult not to tell anyone about this.
Look.
All right. Well, let's keep the ball rolling then, and kindly send me player number 5.
No.
Really?
Whoa.
Hello, Bob. Oh my goodness.
I was gonna look all cool. I was like juggling a die, and then I dropped it.
Oh,
So yes, we have yet another strange and D&D surprise party.
yet another strange.
So it's the family that plays together. And now, because for those who are not aware of this, we actually have 6 players this season. So let's bring out player number 6. Oh, hello, Laura. You look wonderful.
Hello.
Hi.
It's
So
me.
underdressed.
I was
And
about
thank you
to say
so
the same
much
thing.
because I know how late it is there.
It is. It's 1 a.m.
Whoa.
So-
He doesn't sleep.
Well, we appreciate it. Oh my dear friends and fiends. So here we are. We are assembled. Please welcome our cast for season 2 of D&D Surprise Party. So are you surprised with everybody?
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
confirm I did not know.
Excellent. Then my record remains intact. All righty then. So I'm going to send you in our Zoom chat. I'm going to send the campaign link for D&D Beyond. It should be in there now. If you click on that, you should be able to find your characters and claim them. Just click on the little link that says claim, and you should be able to get them.
Join with this character.
So they do have the character names that you came up with for your session zeros. They should be assigned for you there. Okay. Oh, we are already at some donations, it seems. I haven't even explained what the tiers are yet.
Oh, but the mods have been on it. The mods were prepared.
Okay. Well, I'm not in the chat now. I have the Twitch screen on just so I can take a look at that. And but I turned the chat off because during the gaming sessions I'm never in the chat because I've got too much to focus on, and even more so now since these are my This is my homebrew world and everything. Okay, so let's go over roughly, very quickly, what the tiers are for the donations, because friends and fiends, you can actually affect how the game goes tonight. The donations are, of course, for Jasper's Game Day, as you can see right behind me. And we have several tiers. The first tier is $15. For that $15, you can give advantage or disadvantage. And I believe that's available to the player. You can choose which player or the dungeon master gets advantage.
Do not
disadvantage.
help dragon. Don't
Give a
help dragon.
disadvantage. Disadvantage.
All the disadvantage to the DM.
I reserve the right to pass along the disadvantage to anybody I choose. Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works.
This
Yeah.
here.
At any rate, our $20 donation tier is a reroll that we will put into a pool that anybody can use. Just make sure that you have that you use them sparingly, and we don't want there to be a free-for-all on the rerolls. And then we have at the $25 tier, that will be a nat 20. I believe that is also in the form of a pool. I'm not 100% sure on that. If our Oracle could possibly let me know in our Zoom chat, that would be great. I'll have to double check on that. At $50, those who donate $50, you will be able to trigger a random monster attack. So no, don't listen to the players. No, don't listen to the players. Listen to the dungeon master. That's what you're supposed to do. So yes, suddenly I've become Sebastian Cabot, don't you know? I don't know why. And here's the big one, folks. Here is a big one. This is either your best friend or your worst enemy. That is, of course, the fabled surprise die. Now, ordinarily, the surprise die is triggered by certain events that I determine to be a triggering event, and then we roll to see who is affected by it. Well, the chosen by that point has already been selected, but the chosen will be affected by that roll. But there is a chance that the surprise die will not occur on that time. But with the donation tier of $150, you will guarantee that the surprise die is rolled, and the chosen will receive either a bane or a boon based on how they roll against the surprise die. All the other mechanics will still be the same. And am I still here? Because all of a sudden I got a thing saying my internet connection was unstable. Please do not let me be disconnected. I will be so upset.
Nope, you're
You're
still
good.
here.
Still with
Okay.
us.
We heard everything.
Zoom is just cautious.
Okay. We already have 4 rerolls. So that is a pool. Okay.
Love this community.
Babs, the question that I had was, do we do at the $25, the natural 20s and the $15 advantage and disadvantage, the donators get to pick the player. Is that correct? Okay, so yes, the donators will be able to pick the player that gets the natural 20s or the advantage or disadvantage, or the dungeon master. Not the natural 20s, just the advantage or the disadvantage. So you will have guaranteed triggering events of the surprise die at the $150 donation tier. So, and we have our first goal, as I said, we have it set for $500. So let's see if we can knock that first goal down tonight. All right, have you all claimed your characters?
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay, then. All right. So you have all of your characters ready. Let me go to my encounters to prep them. So let's also just quick go over a couple of the house rules for our audience in case they have not joined us previously. First of all, we are going to be using the D4 alternate rules for resurrection. Should the need arise, hopefully it won't. We'll have to wait and see about that, though. That, of course, is the system that Dustin and Devin came up with for D4, and you can find yourself a copy of that in the Dungeon Masters Guild. So go check them out. Okay. All right. Next. As usual, no matter the bonuses or penalties, barring advantage or disadvantage, a natural 1 is an automatic fail, and a natural 20 is an automatic success. Downing a potion only requires a bonus action. So you just have to pop it and swig it as a bonus action, no problem. However, if you're going to administer it to somebody else, then that would constitute an action being needed. When players help each other, you're going to add together all of your involved modifiers instead of just one player getting advantage. So that actually I borrowed from Deborah Ann Wall. She did that for relics and rarities. So basically, if you need to like lift a portcullis, you can have 2 or 3 people come and help you, and all of you together lift it. You add all your strength modifiers. Okay, next, critical hits. When a critical hit is rolled, be it a natural 20 or deemed critical by either a class bonus or an item bonus, we're going to calculate the damage as follows. Now, this is also something that I've borrowed and modified from the D4 damage rule. Okay. Where'd that go? Oh, my screen just blanked. Okay, you're going to start off with, if you roll a 20, full damage of the base damage plus a standard roll of the base damage dice plus your modifiers. For example, a natural 20 with a great axe would automatically do 12 plus the roll of a D12 plus your modifiers. Class effects that add damage to the attack, such as sneak attacks or smites, doubles the damage dice as well. Example, a natural 20 rolled by a 5th level rogue, able to sneak attack, would add 18 points plus 3d6 of sneak attack to the damage total. Spell attacks requiring an attack roll that score a critical hit are treated in the same manner. Example, a warlock that rolls a natural 20 for their Eldritch Blast would do 10 points plus a d10 of force damage. However, don't worry about area attacks, because spell attacks that require the target to make a saving throw instead of an attack roll, aka fireball, are unaffected by this rule. So don't worry, you won't get any double damage, critical damage from a fireball. So no like 15 D8s coming at you. Okay. We did go over our individual. We did go over during the individual session zeros some of the safety rules, because I'm sure some of the people in chat or viewing that haven't seen Surprise Party before, everybody here actually knows each other already, because just about everyone here has performed in one or more episodes of what streams may come, the Chaotic Tiefling Shakespeare live stream reading stream. And also, they've been involved in other productions as well, possibly a game here or a game there. So everybody knows each other. So there was never any real danger of anybody being uncomfortable with anybody else, which is not always possible in a real world setting, like going into your local gaming store and sitting down at a strange table, or going into like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds and hitting look for group. So they don't have to worry about that here, because here at Chaotic Tiefling, we have such an amazing community. We don't have to worry about that problem. It's a safe space and community that we're able to do something like this. But if there is any kind of medical problem or emergency, if something has sent you in a bad direction that I'm doing, just mute your mic and hide your camera and message Babs in the Zoom chat, so this way we know, and then we'll determine what goes on. If there's any kind of emergency, we'll take a break, pause, whatever we need to do to make sure that everybody is okay. So that is pretty much everything, except for the first order of business for tonight. And that first order of business is I need a D6 rolled, because that's how we select our possible first chosen tonight. We might only have one chosen. Who knows? Maybe all of you at some point, if we get the donations, will be chosen tonight. But we are going to start with our player number 1. Celine, I need you to please roll a D6.
Why? Why the pressure for me? Okay.
Because you are player number 1.
We're counting on you.
You had to wait the longest, now you get the most pressure.
I know. And I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh
no, that is nothing. That's merely how I select my chosen one.
Yeah, I know. Of course. I'm just hoping that number 1 doesn't mean number 1.
And
drum rolls.
The chosen has been selected. May the odds be in your favor. Maybe. All right. So, friends and fiends, are we ready?
Always.
Yes.
Even though it's a little bit harder to do with the makeup, hold off on exactly physically describing yourself until all the characters are actually together.
Oh, don't worry. I don't look anything like my character. Like, this just what I had at home.
Same.
In any case.
Got
My
black ass.
everyday look.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the World of Huurkuun. The World of Huurkuun, it is said, was created by dragons. Dragons created the world. They created the skies and the stars. They created the mountains and the seas. It is said that their tears gave birth to the elves. Their venom gave birth to the vile. It brought darkness. It brought light. There are 4 continents on this world. The continent that you will be dealing with primarily is the continent of Firth. And on the continent of Firth, there is a very strange phenomenon, and that is dungeons that appear seemingly from nowhere. And these dungeons come up in different levels, in different areas. They always come up in the same spot. But sometimes they come up at different periods of time. Some dungeons come up every 3 months, every 6 months. Some come up every 5 years, every 3 years, every 10 years. There are some that come up every 50 years. And there are some that come up as much as 500 years. And the problem is some of these dungeons are seemingly stable. They stay for a set amount of time. But there are some dungeons that are not stable. And there have been parties that have been lost when suddenly these dungeons would disappear back into whatever plane they came from. Some of them are phantom mountains that appear seemingly from nowhere without a sound. Others appear as crevices that suddenly open in the earth, revealing a deep staircase. Others open to be a door inside a mountain. And some mountains appear in a column of flame. The entrances and exits of these dungeons are as varied as they are. There are dozens of these all over the continent. There are a few to be rumored over on the continent of Thrid. Now, the continent of Thrid is on the other side of the world, and that is the northern continent there, which is where the hegemonies of Dragonwind are, and the kingdoms there that is said to be ruled by a dragon, even though they're very hard to find these days. To the south of Thrid lies the Wrathlands. As the name infers, the Wrathlands are a blight upon the planet. They are barren wastelands, pockets of poisonous gas, volcanoes springing out of nowhere, strange unknown creatures, and undead by the thousands, at least reportedly. But fortunately, though no one is 100% sure how or by whom, there was a mammoth wall built around encompassing the Wrathlands, whether it's to keep civilization from going in or to keep something from within from getting out. No one is 100% sure. But that is the state of the world. So you, my friends, are all agents of a particular agency that operates primarily on the continent of Firth. And that organization is called Dungeon Expeditions to Locate Valuables and Efficient Recovery of Same, or D.E.L.V.E.R.S. And that is what you all are. You are all Dungeon Delvers. You all work for this mammoth organization that has branch offices headquartered at each of the towns and cities that surround the dungeons. And the organization is run by a mysterious chairman. Practically nobody has ever met the founder of D.E.L.V.E.R.S. There are heads of each of the individual branch offices called taskmasters or taskmistresses. Each of you have been selected by your respective taskmaster or taskmistress and sent on a mission. You have been told that the head office was assembling a team to investigate a strange dungeon, something that was not quite right. Some of you might have been told different things. You might not all have been told the same story. And that might be because of reasons of security. In any event, each of you have been traveling, with the possible exception of Strix. All of you have been traveling for at least 3 or 4 days. You pretty much know where you are going to, where you're supposed to be going to, because each of you have been sent out on other dungeon delves when your own dungeon has been in recess, so to speak. So you're all pretty much familiar with the routes to a number of the other dungeons. There are 6 or 7 local dungeons, each within about 5 or 6 days travel time by horse or cart. And you've been traveling for about 4 days. And all of a sudden, your cart is going off the normal route that you are expecting to go to. Each of you are going along in your cart, and you do realize that you're not going exactly where you're supposed to be. We're going to go one at a time. And what we're going to do is, the way we're going to handle this is we're going to ask for your character name and your class and your background, but hold off on the purely physical descriptions until you're all together. We're going to start with player 1, Celine.
Knew that was going to happen. But I remembered to unmute my mic, so we're starting off well. So I am playing Diazira Rouge Tresses. Other people probably know her with a different last name because she adopted this last name. Do we want to give race?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I'm a halfling, a little halfling. Rogue. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Okay, so your cart. You were told you were heading home.
Yes. Yeah. So the minute she realizes that we are not going home. Excuse me, where are we going?
I'm dreadfully sorry, Miss Diazira. I was under strict orders. We're not going exactly to your hometown. I'm sorry. I was told to take you someplace else that will get you to the ultimate destination. We're almost there as it is. And you pull up by a farmhouse. And you notice that on the barn door is the D.E.L.V.E.R.S logo. And the doors open up and your cart goes in.
So how far out of town are we? Since this is my hometown, like
you turned off the road going down a different path about a day out.
Okay.
So you were a day away from home when you turned down.
Okay. So when he says I was under strict orders from whom?
The Taskmaster, Gelfin.
Do I recognize that name?
Wait, do I have? Oh, I might. Did I have the wrong name for you?
I don't know if you didn't. I don't think you told me the name. If it's who I think it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's. Let me see here.
I'm just trying to figure out how generally annoyed she will be.
No, Gelfin was the taskmaster is your taskmaster for
Okay.
your office.
All right, sweet.
Taskmaster Gelfin told me, ma'am. I'm very sorry. He was under strict orders from the high office, though.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So you get into this barn and hold that thought. Trav, introduce us somewhat to your character as you find that you are not heading where you thought you were.
I will be playing Salphus Summerholt, a human wizard. And yeah, as soon as he realizes he's not going where he's supposed to be, he will immediately look over the edge of the cart and then finally turn to the driver and go, "Why are we detouring?"
I'm very sorry, Doctor. It's just that we... Taskmaster Resnar, he was under orders from the high office. We have to go, and we're going someplace else that'll get you to your destination. But I have to take you there first. I'm very, very sorry.
It's not your fault. It's more of the company's insane secrecy.
Well, apparently it's something about security. There was a team that was coming out another dungeon about a month ago down in the south, and they got attacked.
That's unheard of.
Exactly, sir. That's why the need for all this extra cloak and dagger nonsense.
Very well.
And you're about the same, about a day out from where you were going. Oh, by the way, I do have names for your towns and your headquarters now. D.E.L.V.E.R.S, you are coming out of Thokton. That's Thokton. And just to remind you, your dungeon is a 10-year dungeon in that town.
Could you repeat the spelling? Sorry.
That is Thokton. That is that's D.E.L.V.E.R.'s branch office, and your dungeon is a 10-year. Southus, you're coming out of Ravensfjord. So it's Ravens and FJORD. And yours is a 6-month dungeon. Yours is one of these Phantom Mountains. So you are about the same. You come across the cart comes up to a farmhouse. There's a barn that has the D.E.L.V.E.R.S logo on it. The doors open up and the cart goes inside and they close behind you. And next we will go to Lydia. Introduce us to your character.
Hello, I'm playing Demetra. She is a Leonin paladin. And once she realizes where that they're going in a different direction, she says to the driver, I think we were supposed to make a turn back there. I think you're going the wrong way.
I'm very sorry, sister. I am under strict orders to divert this way.
But that is not what the taskmaster had assigned me. Where are we going?
Begging your pardon, Captain, but it's just that Taskmistress Fadmira said that I have to take you on this route. Something about security. These are from the orders of the High Office.
It's odd. She didn't share any of that with me. I don't understand why she's being so secretive.
It's nothing. I was told to tell you it is nothing personal. Upon the discovery of this diversion, it is nothing personal. It is strictly in order with security. She was not happy about it, to say the least, sister.
Very well. So she agrees, but she is a little tense and she has her hand on her weapon right now.
All right. The driver is one of the sisterhood, so she is completely trustworthy and everything. There's no real deception other than what she's admitted to. And you're about a day or so out from your destination, and it's the same. You roll up in your cart to a farmhouse. There's a barn with the company logo. You go inside, and the doors close behind you. And your town's name, where your headquarters is called Ship Haven. Just like it says, Ship and Haven. And your dungeon is a 6-year dungeon. And if you recall, you led the deepest delve on record yet by getting down to level 4 for that particular dungeon.
And I carry an artifact from that with me.
Yep. All right. Next, Nate, introduce us to your character.
Hello. I will be playing Danos, who is a Furbolg cleric. He's black and white, with piercing purple eyes, and a friend, and a very large hat.
And you can tell them about your friend.
Oh, my friend is a clockwork owl named is the name the same that I'm seeing on D&D Beyond?
Yes, Agamemnon.
Okay. My friend's name is Agamemnon.
Wait, for real?
Apparently. I just read it.
I love them already.
Nice.
So, you're going along, and you know the routes pretty much too. And and you're about a day out from your destination, and it's the same thing. You go off-road all of a sudden.
Oi, we're meant to be going that way.
Well, I know. I'm sorry, sir. It's just that we have to go this way. I got told.
I look at my friend. I bet you had something to do with this, didn't you?
I didn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
Why do you think it's me?
It's always you.
No, it isn't.
Well,
I'm not exactly here for fun either. Click, you know. Who's the one who got in trouble? Who's the one who needs an accompaniment? Click.
better be careful or I'll weld your beak shut.
I've taken that down. Click. At any rate, yes. The Taskmaster knew about this. Click.
Yeah, all right.
And that, of course, would be Taskmaster Vogrun. And you are coming out of the branch office at Vashnost. That's Vashnost. And your dungeon is a 3-year dungeon, and it just went back down within the last 6 months, I believe.
Love it.
And so you find yourself going into pretty much the same thing. You see the cart pulling up into a barn, the doors open up, you go in and the doors close behind you. And next, Bob.
Not gonna say my name. All right. I am playing a character that's named Squigilantis, but you can call him Squeaks.
You know what? Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Everybody can go ahead and describe their characters and all they want now. I can't deal with it. I can't hold it in.
I am a rabbit folk barbarian. A bright white one, about 2 feet tall.
Wait, 2 feet tall?
Very sharp teeth.
He is a bunny. He's a weird bunny. He's not an anthropomorphic rabbit.
So I'm only a little bit taller than he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Be
is
but
incredible.
mighty.
He has a he can leap. Look at the bones.
He's got ups because he's a bunny.
So continue, please, Bob.
I realize that we're going off the path, and I just kind of like hop up into the driver's seat, and I'm like, "Do you need a pee break? You know, you could just pull over."
No, Master Squeaks. It's not that. It's just that. The taskmaster said I had to turn at this point because it's a matter of security, you know.
Do I still get to beat something up?
Oh, eventually you will. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So I'll go back.
No, but
up.
we have to go to a different location for the moment.
I'll get to cleave something. We're good.
So you get into the barn. Same thing. The doors close behind you. Strix, we will get to you just in a few moments. Now,
I figured.
all of you are inside these barns. You're not together. You're all in a separate place. Yes?
Did we get Squeaks's taskmaster name, town name, and dungeon?
I'm very sorry about that. That is absolutely correct. Squeaks, you are coming from Featherstone. And you know your taskmaster's name is Corbin. Now, you were told you were heading to Dawnstead, and it was a 50-year dungeon, but records indicate otherwise, so that kind of confused you a little bit. But something is up even more now. Your dungeon is a 3-year dungeon. Okay. So, all of you are at this place, this barn, and your drivers tell you, you need to get out and go over through that door over there, is what I was told to tell you. Your drivers all individually tell you this. I'll send your supplies along right behind you. So you go through a door, and on the floor there is a circle of glowing runes.
No, sir, I don't like it.
And across from you is a sign saying, "Enter here, please."
So we each are in a separate circle. We don't see
Yes.
each other.
You are not seeing each other. You are each seeing this circle.
Well, I mean, it did say please, so I guess it would be rude to not enter.
So you're going to be the first then, I guess, Squeaks?
Probably. I'm not exactly an intelligent person. I'm going right in.
Okay, you set foot within the circle, and all of a sudden everything goes black, and like you start getting tunnel vision, and you feel like you're being sucked along through a pipe, and you come out a little dazed, but light is there, and you're in a very large, brightly lit meeting room. And the voice says, "Please step away from the teleportation circle. Thank you."
Man, adds a whole new meaning to rabbit hole.
Next, who's going to go into their...
Is this something we would have gone into or come across before?
You see the D.E.L.V.E.R.S logo after it says please.
Again, is this something that I would have gone through before?
Not necessarily, because they're just really beginning to use teleportation circles.
Is it something they've talked about before?
It's been mentioned.
Does it look like a trap?
It does not look like a trap. Oh, that's another thing too for our viewers. All of our players, their characters have the dungeon delving feat. So they get advantage for checking out traps, for detecting secret doors, and for avoiding traps and problems and effects of traps. So this ain't a trap.
Okay, so she's going to pull a ball bearing out of her pocket and throw it at it first.
Nothing happens.
The ball bearing doesn't go through?
No.
It just stays there?
Yep.
She kind of looks around, straightens her stuff. Well, I guess if this is the way I'm meant to go, and walks in.
And the same thing happens. I take it everybody else goes through the little circle?
Salthus would try and figure out where it's going to go by reading the runes if he can first.
All right, give me an Arcana check, please. Our first roll.
15.
You get the idea that it is definitely a destination. From what you can gather, it's in an office.
Come across one of these things and not have the time to copy it down. Fine. And he walks through.
And the same thing happens. So I take it the rest of you do same?
As soon as I see the circle, I just look at my friend. For the love of men, really? We've got to go through that thing now.
Yes, click. How else do you think you're going to get there? Click.
You know, sometimes I really don't appreciate you. And I walk through.
And he hops on your shoulder and kind of digs his claws in a little bit just to make sure he has a good tight grip. Doesn't do any damage to you, but it's a little uncomfortable. Because the thing is, folks, keep in mind, Danos is a furbolg. So this isn't a normal little tiny clockwork owl. This would be a proportionately sized clockwork owl. So it's bigger than you might expect.
He a chunky boy.
So all of you go through the circles, and you find yourself when your senses come back, you can see all around, and you're in this large, very elaborate office. It looks very similar to the offices that your taskmasters and mistresses hold their meetings in. In fact, it looks pretty much like the offices you were in just before you started your journey. And there is a somewhat ornate silver chair at the head of the table, and there are several seats around it. There are 2 seats that have stools. So some people that might be short of stature were definitely expected. There is also a rather large accommodating chair and a perch next to it.
I will go sit down in that very obvious chair.
And at this point, all of your taskmasters and mistresses come into the room. as well as the task mistress
Vendrana?
where did this go? Where did oh my lord? Yes,
Sense is killing
task mistress Vendrana, a water genasi. And standing next to her, Strix, describe yourself.
I am Strix. I'm a 6-foot-tall warforged, but in this universe, those are known as servitors. They're a little bit different. I look outwardly female, and I'm for a warforged. I'm very lithe and thin. I have a silvery blue skin that looks like some kind of strange material with a lot of like purplish filigrees engraved in it. I'm just standing at attention, having a small smile up my face, looking at all of you.
Now, the only one of your particular taskmasters or mistresses that is not here is yours, Daizira. Gelfin is not there. In his place is somebody else. Your mother.
And that's about the look she gives too. She just goes, oh, God.
So yes. Let me see. That would be yes, that would be Task Mistress Shayara.
How you spell that?
Shayara. And yes, she is a halfling. So, well, isn't this interesting, dear? You haven't been home in some time. But now isn't the time to talk about this, I suppose.
Nope, now is the time for business.
So,
Have I, because we left off with me receiving files, have I had time to read them?
yes, you have.
Okay, good.
So you pretty much are familiar with each of the players with what we've already said. You already know all of that. So you are in the Satherton office, the head office of D.E.L.V.E.R.S. And the head taskmistress, in other words, all of your taskmasters and mistresses, their boss is this lady, Vendrana, a water genasi. And she is dressed in blues and silver robes, somewhat monk-like. And she has hanging around her neck a chain that bears a silver talon, what looks to be a silver talon. So, I'm sure you're all wondering why you are here, yes?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Delve a dungeon, right?
Yes, you are definitely here to delve a dungeon, but not the dungeon you were originally told. On behalf of the chairman, I apologize to you all for the situation. In the southern offices, we've been having problems with security lately. We do not know why. We have had several of our parties come under attack upon exiting a dungeon. and would just do not know why. And you notice that her voice, her accent seems to change as she speaks. Well, she's a water genasi. She flows.
May I make an insight check?
Of course.
Samesies.
All right, hold on just 1 second. Because we do have some rolls already for you. Dizera, if you wish to make an insight check?
Yeah, but I don't want to use my advantage yet.
Okay, because you do have advantage. You also do have a reroll. So make note of that, please. I think we got that for everybody in here. Okay. Nate, you have a natural 20. Do you wish to use it?
Do I now? Yeah.
You're going to use it now?
Nat 20s were meant to be used.
All right, so we have our first used Nat 20. Thank you very much for that donation. And she's telling the absolute truth.
Dang it.
Yeah, so I don't know that. I was too distracted by the fact that my mom was in the room because I rolled a 3. I am not
Okay.
insightful at all right now.
All right, so you have this story seems to definitely ring true. We have had several instances of attacks, as I said, on our parties coming out, and we needed to make sure security was tight on this one. This is a new dungeon. Nobody knows anything about this one. We don't have records of it. We are concerned about it, that we do not have this information. Strix has much information at her disposal. She does not have any record of this.
Ooh.
Dr. Southus, I believe you keep track of numerous dungeons as well, do you not?
I do. Where is this located?
It is in the midst of the desert. There has never been a dungeon in that spot before. This one is particularly strange. We cannot get a teleportation circle or any sort of dimensional intervention within an 11-mile radius. It's the furthest radius we've ever known. Thus, we have to have carts drive the remainder of the way.
Do we know anything about the attacks so far on the other people? Who's doing it?
Taskmaster Corbin, the Taskmaster of Featherstone and Squeaks' superior, comes forward. Well, that's the damned thing, lass. We dinna know what's going on. We didn't know how they could possibly be gaining our intel on knowing when we're coming out of a dungeon. Something is just not right here. They don't seem very organized either. I didn't know if they're random. Sometimes they're bandits. Sometimes they've been a pack of gnolls. Why gnolls would attack outside a dungeon, nobody's been able to figure out.
Have we considered that the threat might be coming from whatever is causing the dungeons, instead of from an outside source? Perhaps someone is trying to stop us from delving.
Aye, that's a distinct possibility, and that's what we're going to be trying to figure out. But in the meantime, we need to make sure that we can check this new dungeon out before anybody else does. We didn't know anything about it. We didn't know how long it'll be up.
How long has it been open so far?
It appeared 5 days ago. Without a warning.
a never-before-seen dungeon. Opens with no indication. No prophecies, no oracular signs. It's been open for 5 days. The longest opening period we've seen has been 15, to my knowledge.
Aye.
How long would it take us to get there?
With the teleportation circle, we can get you there instantaneously, and then it's about a 3 or 4 hour ride by cart.
It is extremely dangerous to go in this far into the open period of a dungeon.
Absolutely. That's why we advise you not to go deeper than the first level. But if we can get some sort of idea of what's going on, even if we can, we're going to give you some specialized items that can hopefully get through their dimensional problems and see if we can get some sort of registry on them.
So has anybody gone in yet?
No. That's why when this came up, the high chairman wanted all of us to take our best people. We met here before we called you. We're trying to use this new teleportation system. Because as you know, you cannot teleport in and out of these dungeons because of the very nature of them. But we're going to try to do a little bit of, well, kind of a scrying technique, sort of like what we're using in the other dungeons to try to keep locations on them. Although granted, when they disappear, we cannot trace them.
So we don't even know if magic works.
General magic has been tested. But the problem is we cannot teleport near it. We cannot dimension door near it. Anything that has any sort of extraplanar interface does not necessarily work all that well. Now, if it's something divine, that I have no idea about. I mean, I've put in my own feelers. And you notice that he's wearing a twig circlet with a crescent moon in the center of it.
Does that mean
Taskmaster
anything to
Corbin
me?
is a druid of the moon. But
Yeah, friend, we get to be the first party in.
that you do, lad. Now, some of you definitely know what you're doing when it comes to a dungeon. Some of you are some of the strongest delvers that we got. Some of you are the smartest delvers that we got. And some of you are just the luckiest bastards that we've ever seen in the world. And that is why we need you. Yes.
I have kind of an out-of-game question, because in my session 0, I heard different information about the appearance of the dungeon, and I was wondering whether it's changed since then, or if I just got different information.
You were given slightly different information. And again, it was strictly on a what are we going to do type phase.
Mhm.
So everybody had some piece of the puzzle, but nobody was going to have everything until everybody got together. So some puzzle pieces were wrong, some puzzle pieces were on the money.
Mm-hmm. I meant like the time frame wise.
The time frame wise, yes, that was changed.
Okay.
So
all right.
So they're so we can get you there just as soon as possible. But that's why we picked you. Believe you me though, we didn't want to lose you. All of you are far too important to us, and I'm not talking about as agents. I'm talking about because of who you are. I don't think there's one of us here that would feel any differently. If we didn't need to find this out, we would not be sending you. At this point, Taskmaster Vogrun stands up. He is a fire genasi. This is Danos's Taskmaster. Well, my friend, now you know why you are really here.
You couldn't have just took me the short way that I'm sure you took, since you seem to be here before me. Seems
Would
like
that I
would have been
could.
more efficient.
Yes, but there are still some things that need to be we need to be careful about in your presence.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is another thing, Danos. We need you to take care of Agamemnon.
I just look at Agamemnon. I thought that was his job to take care of me.
Yes, but we need you to make sure he stays safe. He has a very important part to play in this as well. His presence is needed to determine certain aspects of this dungeon.
Right. All right. So he's not just here to be my babysitter. He's here for a good reason.
Yes, although a large part of it is to be your babysitter. And you see that this rather tall fire genasi has shining golden plate armor. And emblazoned on the chest is a silhouette of the platinum dragon Bahamut. And Agamemnon pipes in, I told you I was important. Ha! Click.
Don't like it anymore, but I understand.
And Reznar, the Loxodon, who is Southus's taskmaster. I do apologize, my friend.
The company's secrecy at play again. Under the circumstances, I can understand, however.
I am glad you see that. Let me put it this way. Even my magics have not been able to pierce this problem. And you understand what he means by that because you know he is actually a chronomancer. He is a time wizard.
Resnot, the language has been seen here.
No, that was in fact at another location, and you will be provided that upon your return.
Very well.
That was no lie, my friend. That was obtained. I would not have told you that had it not been.
Very well. The work shall hold for the moment.
But continue on another plane.
That is the problem. I am afraid it does continue on another plane without us. Or perhaps against us.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Why
Do you need us to repeat it slower?
And
have I ever seen one of these entities, either the rabbit folk or the Warforged?
Servitors are
servitors.
very rare That's okay, sir. That's what Warforged are here on Huurkuun. They're called servitors. Their history is very different from the Warforged of Eberron, but they're more or less the same. I've completely homebrewed it through D&D Beyond. One of our sponsors, and I completely forgot to talk about our sponsors at the beginning, but I wanted to get right into the story. We'll talk about our sponsors later. At any rate, you do know that there have been stories about different types of servitors. You yourself have never seen one, but some of your teammates have found them. There've only been, all of you know that there's only been about 20 servitors found throughout the continent. And there is talk of a few found as far away as Thrid. As for Squeaks, well, you've heard tale of different entities coming from the Feywild.
And that's as much as I know.
Pretty much.
All right.
So,
well, this seems to be quite the mismatch of adventurers for this journey. Are we all coming, or are some of us staying behind?
At this point, Taskmistress Fedmira, who is a female Goliath, and Demetra's taskmistress, you will all be going on this mission.
Who will be leading this mission?
As we understand, sister, there is no real leader, although I understand that Strix is in a somewhat supervisory capacity, as she is...
By technicality, I have the highest station. However, I do not intend to impose my will upon you all.
Yes, she has, and you see that she has a badge that is unlike anything that you've seen. It's like the equivalent of a Taskmaster badge, but it seems to have a few extra pips on it. Which basically, Southus, you would know that gives her access to pretty much any office. This is a badge that you yourself have been trying to figure out how to obtain.
Covetousness increases.
At the comment that she was the top and she wouldn't really be leading, but whatever, you see D.E.L.V.E.R.S just kind of lean back and just kind of look her up and down.
Can I assess her threat level?
It's basically she's unimpressed. It's not like a threat. She's just like,
no, I
whatever.
know. I assess the threat level of everyone I meet.
You know from her records that she's quite the formidable person. She has very high marks in all of her missions.
Well, that's just dandy. I've got 2 mechanical babysitters now. Double the fun.
Yeah, you big baby.
It's at this point that a door at the other end of the room opens up. And you see all the taskmasters and mistresses shut their mouths instantly and all stand. And they motion to all of you to get up.
I immediately stand up.
I never sat down.
And
I reluctantly stand up.
in walks someone that has an unimaginable presence. This is Chairman Argent, the founder of D.E.L.V.E.R.S. Welcome, my friends. I am very glad to meet you all. I apologize for the secrecy, but as the taskmasters have said, there is some degree of security. You see that this is a very regal-bearing human with silver gray hair, a silver goatee, and he even has silver eyes. And his presence is just felt. You know this person is in the room, and there's such a feeling of positivity in this room that none of you have ever felt the like before. Again, my friends, I do apologize for the secrecy. This is something unheard of in the history of not just D.E.L.V.E.R.S, but in the history of the world. We've never come across a dungeon that has absolutely no history. That is why I am coming to you personally to ask you to do this. Unlike your normal delves, anything that you find, you may keep for yourselves. This is the least that we can do for you.
Danos' eyes go wide.
We realize this is not an easy thing to ask, going into such a dangerous situation. But you would be helping the world in addition to the company. We are so very close. We find more and more clues every day as to why these dungeons appear, how they repopulate. We do not know that yet. We're hoping that this new dungeon might give some clue. That makes the world of difference. That makes it so important. That is why I ask for your help. I am not commanding you to go on this mission. I am asking you. And you see the looks on all the taskmasters and mistresses' faces in complete shock, with the exception of Taskmistress Vendrana, who is his second in command. She's second only to the chairman. Will you help us in this time of need figure out a way to possibly solve this mystery once and for all? There is something sinister at work we do not know.
Demetrius steps forward and kind of stands tall and says, I, for one, am very honored to have been called here and asked of this. And I will be honored to be on the team that searches out this dungeon for you.
I see no higher honor than to accompany this mission.
You see Fadmira, your taskmistress, Demetra. You see her stand even taller, which is impressive at 7'8". And And Vendrana nods when you say that, Strix.
And what if we say no?
Your mother shoots you lasers. If you say no, there will be no redress. There will be no comeuppance. We will be, of course, very disappointed, but this is strictly up to you.
And this a chance to be the first new party in the dungeon? You kidding me? I'm in.
And you hear Corbin, ha! I knew that'd do it.
I must agree. This is an opportunity that cannot be passed up.
And you see well, as much of a smile as you can see through tusks and a trunk come on on Revnaz's face.
Well, let's see. We get to keep all our loot, save the world. Yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
Daisira is waiting till the very last moment just to rile up her mother. I mean, my calendar's clear. Why not?
Good. I'm so glad to hear it, dear. Well then, we will set you on your way with some proper provisions and equipment within the next few hours. We will leave you here to get to know each other. So be prepared to leave within the next 2 hours would suffice, do you think, Vendrana? Yes, quite. Very well. You will depart within 2 or 3 hours. And you'll be teleported to the circle 11 miles outside of the site. My friends, I thank you very much for this service. And that's where we're going to take our break. We've already gone through the first hour and a half, folks. So, everybody catch your breath.
Sponsors?
We will actually do the sponsors when we get back, because this way we have everybody get the break at the same time. We're going to, because it's 8:30, we normally take a break at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, that is. And we will be back in about 15 to 20 minutes or so. Our wonderful offstage oracle will put it in the chat as far as when we will be back. But we will see you very, very soon. So everybody go get hydrated, get refreshed, do what you need to do, visit the necessary if that is what you need to do, and we'll see you very shortly. And we're back. Welcome back, dear friends, to D&D Surprise Party, the Season 2 premiere, with our wonderful new cast of players. So you've met them now, they've met each other, but before we go back into that, I would like to let you know, give you an update that we are currently at $225. So thank you very much, dear friends. Keep it coming, because we have our goal of $500 for the night that we are trying to raise for Jasper's Game Day, for funding suicide prevention and awareness, because remember, you are not a critical failure. So, and before we do anything else, I want to thank our returning sponsors. And that would be those good folks at D&D Beyond. This was funny during
D&D
the sessions 0 because of all the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. We weren't sure when it was going to be coming out and everything and what D&D Beyond would have. But D&D Beyond is 1 week away, less than a week actually, away from the release of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So you can pre-order that still right now, and you will be able to get your hands on a set of Ravenloft-themed digital dice for your digital dice collection. You will be able to get special backgrounds, special frames, special color schemes from Ravenloft for your character sheets. And you get that if you pre-order Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft up until the release date, which is the 18th of May. So that will be next Tuesday, I believe. So by all means, do it and get it done. What are you waiting for? And our second sponsor is, of course, the great folks at Never Ending. Never Ending had a very successful Kickstarter. They're going to be introducing all sorts of new additions to the library. They are a 2D character art builder. You can put together your characters, and soon NPC characters will be available for you to make as well, and scenery. But you're going to be able to make bird people, fox people, wolf people, all from the Kickstarter. And more than likely, you might be able to, in the near future, come up with some of the same kind of characters that you see populating your screen right now. Because the good people at Never Ending have been helping us with our character art. And we should be getting some interesting pictures in the next couple of weeks or so. So stay tuned for that. You can go check them out on Twitter at BeNeverEnding, and if you go to neverending.app, we have a link in the chat. You will be able to check them out. You can subscribe at different tiers. There is a free subscription tier where you can dip your toes in the water and get a feel for everything. So thank you very much, D&D Beyond and Never Ending, for returning as sponsors for D&D Surprise Party. And I'll just quickly mention in a shameless plug, you can also make sure to go check out my T Public shop. If you hit exclamation point forsooth, forsooth, you know what that means, everybody.
Forsooth. Babs already did it preemptively.
Okay. I don't have the chat on, so I don't know. But in any event, that will take you to my T Public shop, where you can find Shakespeare-inspired merch, you can find D&D-inspired merch, you can find pop culture-inspired merch, and you can find D&D Surprise Party merch. Now, there's a couple of designs that are in there already from Season 1, and I unveiled a new design for Season 2 about a week or two ago. And tonight, after the stream, you will be able to order a new design from the T Public shop, and it is a D.E.L.V.E.R.S logo t-shirt. So if you want to be part of the team that goes into dangerous dungeons, by all means, get yourself a shirt. And for the next 2.5 days, they are on sale at up to 30% off. And you can get it on stickers, on magnets, on mugs, on travel mugs, on notebooks, on notebook covers, and on shirts of different types as well. So go check that out at my T Public shop. The link is in the chat. Thank you very much. And we will now be getting back to business. So you've all decided that you are going to accept the mission into this strange new dungeon that has popped up. You've all made your way you were making your ways to different places that you thought you were supposed to be heading to when you were waylaid into a barn and were told to walk into a teleportation circle that brought you to the head office. And you actually met someone that does not come out into the public too frequently, and that would be Chairman Argent, who definitely has a strong charismatic presence. And he asked for your help because something has to be causing these dungeons to appear. And this brand new dungeon, which has never been detailed, has never been described, it has never been written about. There is no record of it whatsoever in the hundreds of years of history that these dungeons have been popping up. It's been at least 300 years since the last new dungeon popped up. And they're hoping that this will lead to some sort of answer. But they won't know until you go in. And you've all agreed that you're going to make this trip, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so the chairman and the taskmasters have all left you to your own devices in the meeting room to get to know each other. So go ahead.
Is there water
I leave
on
the floor
table?
to you.
Dragon.
Hmm?
Are there drinks?
Yes. Oh, there is a bar. There are mugs of appropriate size.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Verestria, but you may call me Strix. I work from the headquarters usually. It is very nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. Name's Squigilantis, but if that's too big for you, you can call me Squeaks.
Nice to meet you. I'm Demetra.
Salthus Summerholt. Pleasure.
She hops down out of the chair, walks over and goes to get a drink, comes back. D.E.L.V.E.R.S. Climbs back up into the chair.
I just look at Agamemnon. I'm like, are you two related? Any relation? And I point at the Warforged.
Excuse me.
A little racist there, buddy.
I mean, am I the only one that sees the similarities here? Yeah, all right.
I am not a purely mechanical construction, if that is what you mean.
That
Yes. Show a
is
little
what
tact.
I mean.
Click.
Is that click you display purposeful?
I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean. Click.
Is it accidental or on purpose that you click after every sentence?
Well, it's part of my clockwork. It's part of my mechanism. Click.
Interesting. Would you allow me to examine you sometime? I am always interested in new constructs.
Get a room.
Oh no, not in that sense.
Well, considering you seem to be the only one of taste, click. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Thank you, but please do not misconstrue my interest for affection. I say more to the room than to the owl.
I'm going to get a drink. Anyone care for anything?
Yeah, what the hell? I'll take one.
Dimitri's sitting down and just sharpening her axe while everyone's talking.
If there's no whiskey, I'm going to be quite offended.
There's very good whiskey, you find.
Jer has good taste.
You
They
find
brought the good stuff.
you find actually a very old dwarven malt liquor.
Ooh, I really shouldn't.
But you're going to anyway, aren't you?
I mean,
We all should be quite careful of what we drink and partake into, as we don't know what we're going to be facing here in a little bit.
2 hours before we leave, 3 hours by cart, 5 hours to work off anything we imbibe. We shall be fine.
I could try to calculate the optimal amount for you to drink if you would like me to try.
that's no fun.
It may not
the
be
optimal
fun.
amount is some. Salthus begins to pour some out into glasses, and from the bar, as he pours them, floats them over to their recipient using Mage Hand.
I like you.
Well, that's
Good.
quite fancy.
Parlor trick, but useful.
Dude, parlor tricks are the best kinds of tricks. I don't like actual tricks.
Well, very well. I think we ought to know each other's capabilities if we are going to depend on each other for our very lives shortly.
I was just going to suggest the same thing. I have read files on all of you, so I am familiar, but perhaps it is better if all of you introduce yourselves.
And before you start talking, there is a knock at the door.
Come
And in walks two young boys, and they're pushing a cart. And on this cart is a load of very familiar looking items. Southus, your journals and your research equipment has been brought in, your travel pack. And Dizera, you notice that your notebooks and your pack and your bag of holding is there as well. And if there's anything else that anybody needs for the actual delve, that equipment is there as well, that they might not have had on their person.
Did they let me bring my weapon in?
Oh yes, you all came in with whatever weapons that you held onto your person.
Okay.
You were not stripped of anything when you came in. You only had to leave some of your gear behind, just to get through the teleportation circle as fast as possible. So there is more located in several rooms that have been set aside for you, my lords and ladies.
Thank you.
Lord.
Do I know them by name?
Assuming the rest of my stuff is there.
Oh yes, everything has been arranged. Your various taskmasters and mistresses have left instructions on who gets what and where it goes.
Speaking of, where's my taskmaster?
And that would be
Celine doesn't remember the name, but gives.
it's Taskmaster Gelfin.
Gelfin.
From what I understand, Taskmaster Gelfin is actually at the site.
Right.
I thought nobody has been to the site before.
No, they said nobody's been inside.
Yeah.
They have to have at least been there to know that teleportation isn't working there.
Right. They've done cursory examinations from what you've been told already. These are just two kids, two porters, really. They have no other info for you really at all. So, excuse me, please. Excuse us. And they bow and they take the card out.
Thank you. Do I already have the drift globe, or is it on the card?
Oh, that's all. That's part of you.
Cool.
That's part of you. So
Yeah.
that's not a problem at all. So you so you look and you check and you have everything that you would need to go on a normal delve. As far as your personal gear that you would normally use and need. So time goes by. Is there anything else that you want to be doing or saying to anybody else or trying to get an idea of?
Yes, we wanted to discuss our specializations.
All right.
Selthus, it was your suggestion. Would you like to begin?
As I said, I am Selthus Summerholt. I am a sage, linguist, physician, and, I suppose wizard, if you want to go through that route, as I can probably tell. If you are injured, please let me know. I shall do my best to keep you alive during all of this. If you see any particularly unusual or unfamiliar languages or runes or writings or anything of the sort, please tell me immediately. It is one of my main functions.
There are runes on my body. I have seen those.
I don't suppose it would be rude of me to ask to investigate them at some point.
Of course, perhaps on the cart. Although I must warn you, I have not met anyone to date in any offices that was able to read them, nor am I able to read them myself.
I'm assuming that magic has been of no use in that regard.
Not yet.
Very well. Challenge it is.
Yeah, all right. The name's Danos. Just Danos. I'm quite good at being lucky. That's what I do. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. More often than not.
Click.
Oh. You've got a voice. You can introduce yourself.
You're...
All right, this is Agamemnon. He's that. He's here. I'm not really sure what he does.
I'm supposed to keep an eye on you. And that's what it is. Because you are a troublemaker. Click.
Yeah, all right. You don't have to spill all the beans at the same time.
You're also supposed to confirm some things about this new dungeon, Agamemnon?
If I do, click. It's programmed in me deeper than I currently know. Click.
Understood.
All I know is my main function, I was told, was to keep an eye on Mr. Danos here, to make sure he doesn't scarper, or to make sure he doesn't pinch anything he's not supposed to take.
Yeah, all right. You
Weren't we
don't
allowed
have to
to-
spill all the beans.
Weren't we allowed to take whatever we found? So then what's the point?
I mean from each other. Click.
And I just just facepalm.
Are you putting your hand to your face because you are ashamed, or because what he is saying is untrue?
Bit of both.
Adequate. How about you, D.E.L.V.E.R.S?
She's twirling a coin back and forth between her fingers. She's got her cup in her left hand, kind of on the table. I specialize in getting in and out of places. And traps.
That will be most helpful, seeing as we have to get both in and out of a place. Hopefully.
And there's probably going to be some traps.
Just a few.
Most likely. What about you, Squeaks?
Oh, I'm a fighting type. I will say, though, maybe stay behind me when I fight. Odd things sometimes happen. Just every once in a while.
Odd how?
Good question. Not going to answer it.
Fair enough.
Odd of the magic variety or of the physical variety?
Wouldn't be very odd if it was physical.
Interesting. And you, Demetra?
My name is Demetra. I have just come from a delve that I just completed, which took a little while, but was one of the most prosperous and deepest delves my company has seen. Went to level 4 and completely, this is aside, DM, what was the monster that I defeated again? I can't remember.
It was a giant scorpion.
Giant scorpion, yes. And defeated a giant scorpion, and I show one of the scorpion's piece of the scorpion tail that I have hanging around my neck. Looked it up. And as far as my things that I do very well, I do have some healing abilities as a paladin, and I do have some different spells that I can use to help us out along the way. I wield 2 battle axes that I use very often. And I also can be a little loud sometimes when I feel attacked. I often will roar, and that can be a little scary sometimes. So just a heads up.
Most impressive. I am a servitor, but I am unlike other servitors in that it seems I was not built for physical defense or offense. I am exceptionally good in collecting, cataloging, and analyzing information, and do this in and outside of dungeons for delvers. I also keep usually a running map of wherever we walk, taking the evenings to refine said maps, so they will be not too impressive as we walk, but it should keep us understanding. It should keep us appraised of the situations as we walk.
You good?
I apologize. I was found in a dungeon, and am not fully functional, nor are most mechanics able of... well, I am sorry. Speaking of my past makes me lag a little bit.
I lag a little bit all the time. You're fine.
Thank you.
All right. So the time goes by pretty swiftly. You kind of get an idea that you definitely were put together with the idea of balancing things out between knowledge strength, and pure dumb luck. But that's what's needed for these delves. So, after a while, and a little bit of a cool down after your libations, you are led to another room, another chamber, almost like the size of a ballroom. There's many pillars around it. There's also, you do see off to the corner, you see several gnome artificers working on various things. Teleportation circles are relatively new to the operation. There have been some hesitancy to use them due to the unstable natures of the magics surrounding the dungeons. But it's been found to start being necessary in certain instances. There are limited use teleportation circles in each of your offices now. But you were not informed on this. It was basically a need to know. But you do know this now, obviously, because all of your taskmasters and mistresses are here. But there also, you see, everybody give me a perception check.
Oh dear.
17.
10.
May
Okay.
I ask how I do this on D&D and Beyond?
Okay, on D&D Beyond, where you go to, do you see a little red circle in the lower left corner? A little
Yes.
die in
She
it?
should just be able to click the plus. So where you see wisdom, perception, next to
Oh,
it,
that
there's
too,
like
yes,
a plus.
on
If
your
you
character
just,
sheet.
if you just click your character sheet, it'll roll the die for you.
Awesome.
Right
Thank
next
you.
to your skill and perception.
I got a 22.
Ooh,
18 for Danos.
18.
okay.
Seven.
Okay, well, there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody to go around. There is also a reroll pool available. We currently have
5.
5. We currently have 5 rerolls in the pool. So if anybody that rolled under a 12, you can use a reroll if you wish.
I think I'm going to save mine.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
scared.
Okay. I'll
I
give.
feel like
I'll
there's
give.
bigger things ahead that I probably need to use that for.
What did you roll though?
I rolled a 7.
7. Okay. It's, you can see that it's basic what it is, that these gnomes seem to be working on these boxes, and each of them have a set of tools. 2 of them at 2 different stations though have what looks like a stone, and it's a stone that has what looks like a starburst on it.
Like
And-
the candy? Or like,
No,
sorry, I guess I'm hungry.
a starburst, not a candy. No, it's
What
not the-
flavor?
it is not a chewy candy goodie. It is a pattern.
I was
There-
like, there's a square?
Any case, you know that you see them working on it, and you see them like tapping into it, holding up one to their ear, and talking into it, and then putting it down again and trying to tinker with it. So, all right, who rolled over a 20? Okay, who rolled over 18?
I rolled equal to 18.
Okay, 18 and above, and with the over the 20. Okay, you have heard something about this, that there were these strange stones found in another dungeon that were just dropped off, and They don't know what exactly they were there for, but it seems they have something to do with using sending, but in a different fashion than is normal. So these gnomes are actually trying to reverse engineer these stones to try to come up with a cross-dimensional communication.
Interesting.
So you're basically in this large room. You've just walked into M's office, Q's workshop, basically. You're in the research and development room of the main office. So you see gnomes running here and there, every place, working on things.
Hello, Jeffrey. How is your wife?
Oh, very good, miss. Thank you very much. I'll tell her that you said hello. And she wanted me to thank you for that sweater you made for her.
You're most welcome.
And you're led to a room with a large teleportation circle, and Chairman Argent is there. He's by himself. There's none of the other taskmasters or mistresses there. Good. I hope you've all gotten to know each other.
We have.
Because your lives depend on each other. Remember that. I haven't seen off very many teams in recent years, but I had to be here to see you off. I do hope that you take care, and I hope that Bahamut is watching over you all. Be safe, and come back home to us. And he steps back, and the runes start to glow. If you kindly get in, you'll be taken to the cart that will drive you the rest of the way.
Yep, see you on the other side. And I step into the circle.
Demetra bows and says, "Thank you so much for this honor. I won't let you down." And then steps in.
Bob waves as he walks in.
Alta steps in without a word.
Thank you, Chairman. I hope to see your face again.
And I as well, my dear. I as well. So you feel the familiar tug that you felt earlier, getting sucked through the teleportation. It doesn't affect Strix all that much, because Strix is actually used to it. Because Strix is actually sent from dungeon to dungeon on numerous occasions to look into things, or into the sites, or into the other offices as well. That's part of the perks of that badge that you are eyeing so vehemently, Safas. And your vision clears, and you are in what seems to be a very temporarily built barn, much like the ones that you drove into. And there is a cart waiting for you all. There is plenty of room for your gear. There are bags of provisions strapped to the sides of the carts. And the carts are actually quite interesting. There are no beasts of burden to pull it.
And like harnesses and stuff on the front, or
no, this has there are two gnomes sitting at the head. Everybody, make sure you keep your hands in, please. Keep your hands in, and your feet and your heads and everything else that you don't want to lose.
You want to listen to them.
Can Demetra check to see how this cart works? She investigate this cart.
Yeah, you can check it out. Go ahead, give me an investigation roll.
Which one would that be?
That you would roll where it says investigation on your skills and
Okay.
and just click on that and you should get a number. Pop up.
14.
Okay. So, well, you can tell that there is nothing that is attached to it. There's no straps, there's no harnesses, no barding of any sort. But you are picking up the smell of ozone, as if there's an electrical discharge. And it's at this point that all of you kind of notice, especially those of the more furry variety, that your hair is kind of prickly and standing on end a little bit, as there seems to be a large amount of static electricity in the area. And all of a sudden, the cart moves forward. And you notice that these every so often, little sparks come out of the wheels.
Demetra's very uncomfortable. She doesn't like this.
Squeaks is probably just a little fluff ball. I just cold.
Agamemnon is buzzing a little bit, but that's about it. Ordinarily he has a little bit of a hum that you've noticed, but it's slightly louder. Strix, you've actually been used to this, so it's not really doing anything to your systems. But no, this is actually being pulled along via a very interesting form of lightning magic, a very strange use of lightning magic.
Nope.
Squeaks, whatever you do not touch Agamemnon until we're off this thing.
I'm a touch Agamemnon.
Of course you are.
And you get a slight shock that goes from your finger right out your nose.
Is Agamemnon still on my shoulder?
Yes.
Great.
So you feel a little bit of a shock going into your shoulder.
Demetra sees this and she scoots away from them too.
Take a few minutes to build up again.
Would you like to hear a fun fact to make the journey easier?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Please.
All right. Did you know that D.E.L.V.E.R.S is so fond of barns that there are, in fact, 30 separate towns across the continent that have more barns from D.E.L.V.E.R.S than actual barns?
That's probably the nerdiest fun fact I've ever heard.
More insightful than fun, but
I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
I will take that into consideration for next time. I apologize.
And you're going along. It's about an hour or so. Everybody, give me a perception roll.
I knew that was coming.
Can I also try and take Agamemnon off of my shoulder and just put him on the cart?
He'll hop off.
Okay.
21.
20.
19.
12.
As you're going along, you're looking out around this desert, and it's pretty barren and bleak the whole way through. This is like the biggest desert on the continent here. It's almost dead center. And you're heading towards a section that's called the Sorrow Storm. And you're noticing something very strange. You're noticing like almost like mounds forming and then going away in the sands. And it's at that point that the gnomes pull up and stop and turn off the cart. Everybody needs to stay very, very still for a few minutes. No loud noises, if you please.
I just whisper over to Agamemnon. He's talking to you.
I'll cast silence.
Okay. And you notice that through the sky there is a rather large bird. It actually is, well, it's a rock. A rather large, a giant bird that's flying by, and it lands in the middle of the desert, perhaps just to take a momentary break. And all of a sudden, out from underneath the sand bursts what is called a skull worm. And you see this rather large, actually huge, snake-like creature with dull red skin, scales really, kind of draconic looking, with no legs whatsoever. And it seems to be wearing a large, thick skull over its head. And it comes up and it actually bites the rock's head off. This thing is huge. It looks to be about 100 feet long. And
so we're talking like Shai Halud size.
Yeah, kinda. Not that thick. Not as thick as a dune worm. More like the sandworms from Beetlejuice.
Okay.
To give you more of an idea. Actually, I will put up a picture. I actually have pictures of the sandworms. I'll put them up in our Discord after the stream, so you know exactly what you're looking at. And it bites the head off, and then it swallows it whole, and then it grabs the body and drags it down under the sand. And the gnomes say, "Right, let's go quick." And they turn it on, and it's actually going a little faster now. They say, "That was a close one."
Can they say anything? We're silenced, aren't we?
Well, once we start moving again, we leave the silence spell. So
Right.
That was a close one. Good call on that, Miss Strix.
that is all right. It seemed pertinent. My spell focus, by the way, is like a crystal set into me. So it like kind of like pulses when I have a spell going, and I drop it when I drop concentration. So it goes inert once again.
Yeah. So, have any of you ever seen a sandworm before? Most of you probably haven't. Let me see. Everybody just roll. Give me a roll of just a D20 roll.
Natural 20.
You've actually
Such
seen
a waste.
You've actually seen one up close.
I got a nat 22
I got
as
12.
well, I should say.
Okay. All of you have heard, and some of the ones that have rolled so high, you've actually seen them in the distance, although you never saw one quite so big. Although the gnomes say, that was actually smaller than the last one I saw.
I'm cataloging that and asking him for exact dimensions.
I don't know. It might have been like another maybe 50, 60 feet longer than what I saw.
Right.
That one had a third horn on its skull.
Right.
You can hear scribbling from inside my chest compartment.
Oh, Finn
Good
will love that
launch.
one, I'm sure. Hi, Finn. I'm
Yeah.
sure you're in chat. Anyway. All right,
What?
so you get going again, and actually the gnomes are making the cart go a little bit faster now. Because if one skull verm is about, there's usually more than one in the area. So they're trying to get you to the location as fast as possible. The next 2 hours or so fly by. And you get there with no incident, no further incident, and you disembark at what looks like a temporary way station. It would almost be like a Radio Shack in modern parlance. And Dysera, you see Taskmaster Gelfin there to greet you. Ah, Miss Rearstresses, I'm very, very sorry about the deception.
It's all right. Things happen.
And
I'm sure it was for good reason.
You do see that this Taskmaster, by the way, is a Goliath, and you see that he is wearing. You notice that he's wearing his full plate mail, which he never usually wears around the office, and you notice that there are in fact dwarven runes carved into this armor.
You dressed up today.
Considering the circumstances, yes, there's very much to be prepared for. We don't know what the bloody Avernus is going on with this thing.
So what do you know?
Well, we've had the scouts look around, and you see that it looks to be a cairn. It looks to be like a man-made, for lack of a better word. It's definitely a manufactured and constructed, sort of like a pyramid, kind of like a ziggurat, but very flat and quite wide. We figure it to be somewhere around 2,000 or so foot perimeter. That's just going from the inside. We have no idea, of course, how deep it is. We've been holding off on going inside. I started to, and then I don't know. There was something that was just keeping me back, and I don't know why.
Salthus has taken out a journal and an iridescent quill and is now sort of sketching the cairn as much as he can in a technical sense.
We also had people out here experimenting with teleportation, dimension door, even misty step spells. Any sort of dimensional travel has been limited. We've actually gone a mile or so away each time to attempt, and it was about at 11 miles that we were finally able to set up a teleport station. Generally, we've been able to use some dimensional magic within a 5-mile radius of the other dungeons, as you well know. But for some reason, this one seems to be most unusual.
Dysera reaches down and pops her sword a little bit out of her hilt. Her rapier a little bit out of her hilt. Does it glow like it should?
Refresh my memory.
I have a moon-touched rapier. It should glow like 15 feet.
It's just magical light.
It's just magical light.
Yes,
but I'm just making sure it works.
Yes, your rapier is working.
Okay.
So the cart was actually able to work.
Well, she didn't think anything about that. It's magic. She doesn't really care about the cart. She cares about that her weapon's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
No,
She pops it out to make sure it lights up and then slides it back in.
Yep. Nope. Your magical equipment seems to be working just fine.
Taskmaster.
What about the gem that Demetra is holding?
It's still glowing.
Okay.
You
Does
can
it
feel
change colors at all?
Are you looking in? You keep it in a small pouch, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you look inside the pouch?
Yes, I look inside the pouch.
It's the same. It's the same iridescence that you've gotten used to.
Okay.
During the course of the trip.
Taskmaster.
Yes, Miss Strix.
You said something was keeping you outside. Was that an emotion or some kind of external effect?
That's the damned thing. I don't know what it was. I honestly do not know what was keeping me out. We had a couple of we had let me see, we had a couple of dwarfs. They were actually able to go in about 20 feet and we told them to come back out. They were able to get in, but for some reason I was unable to.
The Taskmaster is what race?
He's a Goliath.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
So, one more question.
Yes.
Does my bag of holding still work?
Yes.
Because technically it's extra dimensional.
I know.
Okay.
But it's contained? Yes. There's been no problem. There's been no problem. And he looks at he sees you checking your bag because he gave it to you after all. Yes. No, we haven't had any sort of problem with items like a bag of holding or portable hurls or whatnot. It all seems to be around transposition, be it teleportation or dimensional door. That's what's so blasted strange about this place.
Interesting. And the size, is it comparable to any dungeons we have seen before?
Well, it's smaller than the mountains that we've encountered, of course. The dungeons are so different. I mean, you have the ones that just open up in the ground. You have the ones that just seem to appear out of nowhere with doors in mountains or whole mountains appearing. For the viewers who are, in case you're wondering, Goliaths in Huurkuun are a lot different than they might be anyplace else. They're actually one of the elder races. And a lot of them are more, well, for lack of a better word, refined than you might find on some other worlds. There was many mysteries attached to this one. It doesn't add, so much about it does not add up like the others do.
From where we're standing and talking, can we see the entrance?
Oh, yes. There are actually two. They're about 100 feet apart. That's a very odd thing about it, too. You notice that there seems to be two obelisks outside of each door. One is broken, but it's almost a mirror image that's broken on the other one. So it's very symmetrical looking.
Do both hallways initially look the same when going in?
Oh, yes. They seem to be rather congruous, actually.
Which one did the dwarves begin to enter?
We sent one into each of them, actually. We sent them in for about 20 or so feet in.
You sent them alone?
We also sent them with... We were actually able to send into them We only had them go in for about 20 or 30 feet, just to get seem to get a heads up on the type of situation that they're dealing with. They found that the stonework was amazing. It's some of the most intricate stonework, and by all means, it's extremely hard to climb. It's almost smooth stone.
I take that as a challenge.
And yet the floors seem to be a bit uneven in places. But there were no traps that were detected within the first at least 30 feet in. They were able to see each other down across the hallway, though, from either entrance. So they were able to meet in the middle of a corridor.
Is there any writing on the obelisks? We did bring an expert.
Let's see. There is some sort of rune work on them.
Salthus doesn't even wait. He's already started walking when he hears that.
All right.
And follows.
All right. Give me an Arcana check.
Arcana. 23.
Nice.
Okay. Each of them has the same rune on them, and Salthus, this is that language that you've been looking for. This particular rune.
Oh, that's a problem.
And you do know what it says.
What?
It says beware.
In that language, it says beware.
Yes.
Well, that's comforting.
He takes out the iridescent quill again and writes on the obelisk, beware, under that rune. And it shows up. It is visibly in sort of an orange color.
Is that what that means?
Yes. This is troubling.
Ominous.
This just got interesting.
You're calling it troubling?
I am very concerned to find this here. And I'm also extremely fascinated to find it here. This language has no known component. It is hardly discovered. It is hardly seen across most of the dungeons. It's been found only fragmentarily in a few places. Context clues, as much as anything, have allowed us to understand a fraction of what we found. There's no way to know how this is spoken. There's no way to know who speaks of it. But from what we've discovered so far, this language, if it has a purpose or a focus, it seems dedicated to the topic of misery on every level.
Does it have a name?
I've been calling it the language simply because there is no other known name for it. If there are proper nouns in it, there are runes that we have yet to translate properly.
How long have you been studying this?
I have been studying this the last 4 years, but it is not my primary work. So
I don't recognize this, right?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 20 dirty. Wait. Can I Should I take a reroll?
We gotta use them.
one. I do have one that I can roll with advantage, so I'll take my own one instead of taking from the pool
There you go.
of everyone.
Okay.
Oh, way better. 23.
You get a little bit of a sense of it. You know that you know the research that Southus has done from reading the files. You know where other examples of this have been excavated. You don't know the name of it, but you do know that it's old. And it somehow predates Dwarven runes and Goliath runes and even Elven runes. But that is all that you have on it.
If any of you see any more instances of this, call it out immediately. I need to record all of it.
It is also definitely not Draconic.
No.
Draconic is actually pretty fairly commonly found in architecture and in literature. Because basically you see Friends and Fiends viewing, the dragons of Huurkuun are kind of like Tolkien's elves. Kind of that paradigm and everything, just to give you all a heads up out there.
Well, let's not burn any more daylight.
No, agreed.
No.
We have probably 2 days of safe delving, but who can tell with this one?
True. I have a light to light the way, but perhaps we should discuss a standard marching order before we go in, based on our various capabilities.
I'm gonna say me and whoever's good at traps should go first.
Looks like me and the bunny go first.
I will follow to document and to protect those behind me from harm.
I will follow also to protect.
That's me in the middle then.
Stay in the back if it's all the same to you all.
Of course. I'm going to write that down.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nah, we don't need to keep track of our walking order. Why would we need that? That sounds like
Strix
reasonable
is
and
keeping track
sensible
of it.
information.
Strix is keeping track of everything.
You really don't want
Strix,
to be in front of me.
do keep in mind that even though you have been able to keep fairly accurate maps,
Mm.
you do know that there seems to be something that causes them not to 100% match up the next time you go into one of them.
Yeah, definitely. There is no guarantee.
Because there is something, and this is something that you've all encountered, that seems to stymie accurate map making. You're not sure if it's the perception of the room that is putting you off while you're trying to record it, or if the rooms themselves change in their size and shape.
So the dungeons are like the House of Leaves.
All of the dungeons are that way.
Ugh.
I'm not here to think. I'm here to beat things up.
So, are you going to go into the right door or the left door? They're about roughly 150 feet apart.
Which side
Right
had
door.
the obelisk that was damaged?
They both are.
They're both damaged.
They're both damaged. They seem to be quite synced up. There seems to be a symmetry there.
Diazira takes
reason.
off towards the right door.
Well, you see, what you do is you ask one obelisk what the other obelisk would say about where to go.
I've already walked towards the right door.
Sounds all right.
I'll go to the right.
While the barbarian
I'm
speaks.
familiar with that logic puzzle.
I will speak my Drift Globe's command word and make it emanate light
All right, and you
so that
see.
it can light our way.
Well, describe what happens.
Yeah. So I speak the command word quietly, and instead of anything at the front of me happening, there's a compartment at the back of my neck, or just like upper back, that opens up. I kind of have to like open up my cloak to let it out, and a drift globe comes out and just like clicks on and then floats. Not like normal drift globes that kind of like drag behind you when you walk. Mine just kind of follows me around. I like to keep my hands free.
That's convenient.
It is. Courtesy of D.E.L.V.E.R.S. I believe all of you got a special item as well.
All right, so you're going into the right door. It is not a door, it's just an archway. So it is an opening that just goes in. It goes in about 10 feet, and it comes to an intersection, a four-way intersection. The way that you came, the way down to the left, which you see some daylight coming in from the other door, about 150 or feet so down. And then it goes down straight ahead of you. As far as you can see, you can all see about like maybe a little bit further than 60, 70 feet. There's actually some lighting in here. There seems to be an incandescence from an undeterminable source every 30 to 40 feet or so. And then you have over to your right, you can see the corridor goes down about 60, 70 feet and then turns to the right again. So you're at this crossroads. Which one do you want to go to?
D.E.L.V.E.R.S just keeps walking right.
All right, I guess I'm following D.E.L.V.E.R.S.
Seeing D.E.L.V.E.R.S doing that, Sulfus takes out the incandescent quill again, the iridescent quill, and makes a mark on the wall showing A2 and an arrow.
All right. So which way were you going again now?
Right.
Right.
All right. All right. So Squeaks and D.E.L.V.E.R.S are in the lead. Both of you give me a perception check with advantage because of your dungeon delving.
Thank you.
Eat.
Wait, hang on.
What is the substance that comes out of your quill?
Ink.
I'm going to use my nat 20.
You're going to use your nat 20? Okay.
23.
Okay. You stop everybody dead as you notice that there is a scratching pattern across the floor about 20 feet in. And you follow the scratch on the floor, and you see that there are slits in either side of the walls.
Okay.
Do we see that too as well, or just them two up front?
So D.E.L.V.E.R.S would literally just like raise her hand and stopped it in her tracks.
Okay, well, that's what they see because they're up in the front. They're specifically looking. That's what they're doing. That's their primary goal at the moment.
And she's just going to kind of turn and just go, 1 sec. Like, not actually say anything, just kind of hold up her finger.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my nat 20 to investigate.
Okay, hold on to that thought. With that natural 20 that you had, Squeaks, you also notice a little bit, you look up onto the ceiling and you notice that there's that the little opening that was along the lines of the hallway on the walls is also on the ceiling, and you notice a little bit of oil that seems to be on either side of the crack in the ceiling.
Hold on. I'm probably gonna quickly like tap D.E.L.V.E.R.S kind of on the back of the calf. I can't reach, and just like point up at the ceiling.
And you see the same thing. And you said you're going to use your natural 20 for the investigation. You see the slight outline of a pressure plate on the floor.
Okay, so that's a 23, by the way.
Okay. So you find there's the outline of a pressure plate on the floor. And this has all the ear markings of a classic guillotine trap.
I disarm it. Or try to disarm it.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check with advantage from your tools.
I don't know how to do that in Roll20.
There is a tool section. If you go to equipment and you go to the tool pack, I think.
All you have to do is make you roll an advantage. So you would roll.
It's just advantage. Okay.
Yeah.
21.
Okay. You work a spanner underneath this pressure plate, and you turn it, and you hear click. And slowly out from the sides of the wall, from a center bolting in the ceiling, come out these two huge scythes that would have swung right into you had you stepped on that pressure plate.
In case it resets. As soon as D.E.L.V.E.R.S says it's clear, the quill comes out again. I trace orange ink along the lines where it was coming out. Write pressure plate, guillotines.
The surprise die just got triggered.
The surprise die just got triggered.
Holy
Thank
crap.
you very much. That is because the surprise die trigger, friends and fiends, is a $150 donation. So thank you very much for that. Okay. Well, the way that this is being handled is we're going to stop what we're doing right now. You've already solved that problem. So, let me see here. So now ordinarily there is a chance that the surprise die does not take effect. And the donation actually takes away the chance. So there is a guaranteed bane or boon based on your roll versus the surprise die. And our chosen is Danos.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Big B.
Lucky, right place, right time.
Okay. Let me see here.
Got this. Shake it out, Big B.
Okay.
Shake it out.
Danos, I need you to roll a d20 versus the surprise die.
Do rerolls count for this?
Oh, boy.
Rerolls do not count for this.
And I'm trying to roll higher?
I'll
Wait,
tell
what?
You don't know yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just
We
gonna
have
roll.
another surprise die, too.
It got triggered again?
What?
We got another donation of $150.
Oh my god.
We are now over our $500 goal, too. That put us over by $50.
Another anonymous $150 donation.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh,
I
that is
reiterate, I
fantastic.
love this community.
Thank you so much, folks. That is amazing. All right. Well, we're We'll get to the second triggering in a little bit, but first, let's see.
God.
Okay.
Chaos.
What did you roll? What did you roll, Danos?
All right, I'm rolling now. Oh no.
Just what you want to hear
Oh,
right
no.
after rolling for a surprise die.
Oh no.
I rolled an 8.
I don't know if that's good.
I rolled a 7.
Is that good?
And
Wait,
in
is
this
that good?
case, you needed to roll higher.
Is that good?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Because that will. Let's see. You are getting a boon.
Heyo. Is the boon that
Vigorous
this
typing.
owl disappears?
All right, hold on. I have to double check something here because something.
Spicy.
Question
Magic
is there
muzzle
such a
materializes that fits the owl?
All right.
An owl muzzle.
there's such a thing as a good burning sensation? That's the question you need to be asking.
There is. There is.
All right, Danos.
Yes.
As you're standing there, looking at all of this, wondering what the Hades is going on, your feather pops off of your hat. And it floats around you, and it tickles your nose and makes you sneeze.
Oh joy.
And then it goes back into its pin on the hat until your next long rest. You are effectively under a bless spell. So you get to add a D4 roll to any attack or saving throw.
Heyo.
Nice.
Zundai.
So that was a bane. So, Nate, you are this season's first chosen. So congratulations. And you got a boon at that.
With an 8.
With an 8.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you don't know how you have to roll. Sometimes you need to roll higher. Sometimes you need to roll lower. Now, what this means, though, is it is a special occasion because we are going to be, since we have multiple surprise die rolls, that means we need another chosen. You will not be able to be chosen again tonight.
Oh.
Also, this means you will also be immune next week from being the chosen.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have immunity next week. All right. Southus, I need you to roll a d6 for me, please. But this is not in character or in-game thing. This is to help to determine who the next chosen is.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's the second one we rolled on the surprise the selection thing, because I rolled a 1 at the beginning too.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Come on, RNG.
At this point, I'm actually rooting for chaos.
Of course.
Same. Yeah.
Well, chaos will actually have a way of happening because friends and fiends watching out there, somebody gave your DM a D20, a natural 20.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't used it yet.
Why?
And a reroll.
Yeah, you also
He
have a
hasn't
roll.
had
also
to
have a
roll
reroll?
very much yet.
Yeah.
I
I
gave
didn't
you
know
a
I had a
natural
reroll,
20.
too. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you.
Traitor.
Yeah, we have all sorts of goodies to use now that we're rolling.
So, all right. So I have the next chosen. That will happen within the next couple of minutes. I promise. We are running a little bit past 10 right now, but we will get that die roll in just a few moments.
That's
All
okay.
right.
I don't need sleep.
So we're not going to be too much longer. I promise. We are. All right. So you have disarmed that trap quite successfully. You come to the corner and you see down about 60, 70 feet, and the corridor ends in a door.
I like doors.
Door, Charlie. The door. Sorry.
I hate that I got that reference.
Okay. So, question for the DM.
Yes.
Based on all the history that we have heard so far about this dungeon, that we've never seen it, whatever, is it safe to assume that I will not need to be looking for other adventurers' marks?
That is a very safe assumption. You do notice that on the blades there was no blood, but they definitely scuffed up the floor. There was no dried blood on there.
Comforting.
Okay.
Perhaps from testing. Can I uncollapse my arm blade because there is a door and we do not know what is behind that door?
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry. Uncollapse your what now?
Okay. I have a lot of compartments, as was said in chat.
All the compartments.
Yes. So in my left arm, to keep my right arm open for writing, I have a like a slot in the forearm that I can kind of like chunk open as a bonus action, and out comes a pretty flat blade, but it is as long as a rapier. And I basically have a weapon in my arm. That is my weapon.
You just summoned a sharp object out of your forearm.
Yeah. I just went like chunk.
It's a literal forearm shiv.
Yeah.
But you can't summon sharp objects when you need them.
All right. So
I
I'm
usually
gonna
have teeth to do that.
I did not announce it to anyone, so I forgot.
Okay.
You probably just startled the crap out of the bunny in front of you.
I was sure to do it.
Hopefully there are no pellets on the floor now.
Hey!
I'm gonna very puzzled just take out my mace.
So, D.E.L.V.E.R.S is going to listen at the door first to see if she hears anything. If it seems like something I could listen to, like what's the material of this door? Like, what does the door look like?
This is a very simple wooden door.
Okay. So I listen at the door.
You don't hear anything.
All right. Did they mention going through any doors before? Probably not.
No, they didn't. They weren't quite sure about anything. They just got a very quick look inside the perimeter to get an idea of like the general stonework.
Okay. So I checked the door for traps.
The door is unlocked, and I'll give it to you with your perception and your dungeon delving. There is nothing trapped on the door.
Nice. All right. So she kind of looks back at everybody.
I draw my battle axe.
You look up at everybody.
I backing up.
I just realized that the two smallest people are in the front, and after that it's just like shook.
Yep.
Like 2.5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 5 feet, 7 feet again.
2 feet, 2.5 feet, tall people.
Yeah.
For aerodynamic.
Are you continuing in that marching order into the room through the door?
Yes, chances are they'll see me first anyway, because they'll just look over them.
Shiny.
I'm standing right next to you too, so it'll be like
Or if there's any human-sized traps behind the door, they'll just shoot us and go right over the other two.
Exactly.
So D.E.L.V.E.R.S reaches up to open the door with the intent that Squeaks goes in through the door. Because you've got to send the barbarian in first.
Always.
All right. Squeaks draws his axe and heads right on in. What's up?
Okay. This is a fairly large room. It's also very empty. It's pretty much devoid of anything except a little bit of broken statuary here and there.
Oh, that's boring.
A lot of dust. Now let me just see here, because we do have that second surprise die. Something else apparently has come through.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
I've got a reroll.
Yeah, Bat Kyle wanted to make sure that you could torture Bigby and I with it.
Hey.
Thank you.
And a natural 20.
And a natural 20.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, in any event, you come into this room, and Squeaks, I need you to roll a d20.
Oh no. Oh no. What have I done?
What a wonderful time for
Face is falling off.
What have you done?
I
My
said him in
face is
first.
falling
What have I
off.
done?
Oh, okay.
15.
Okay.
Stay on.
You needed to roll higher, and I rolled. What did you roll?
15.
I rolled a 13.
Moon.
Oops.
I mean, Lucky Rabbit's foot seemed obvious. You got two of them.
Don't I carry a rabbit's foot? Like besides my actual feet? I think I have a rabbit's foot.
Yes, you
Do
actually
you really?
Yeah, I have a rabbit's foot.
Wow.
That's dark.
I don't remember who it's from.
You notice.
It's his mother's foot.
Oh my god.
You
Even
notice.
creepier.
Squeaks, you notice something hanging off of one of the broken statue's arms.
Okay. I'm gonna go poke it.
Okay. You find a coin purse.
Ooh. What?
And inside, you find 3 bars of platinum.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
But that's what you get from a boon from the surprise die, y'all.
Are the bars bigger than him?
Just now to make it a little bit clearer for the folks watching. In Huurkuun, coins can come either in their regular normal form, or in some cases, to make it easier for transport, they're actually in bars. So I will give you the exact total once when we're after the stream goes off tonight. I'll give you the exact total. But it's that's pretty good there, because you don't ordinarily hear of platinum bars.
Dude, I'm gonna be a rich bunny.
You have the feeling right off the bat that this is more than you've made in 2 years of pit fighting.
Wait, the bunny is a pit fighter?
I have a gladiator background. I go pit fighting.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This bunny is my favorite. This
Blink
bunny
blink
must
for
live
Bob
at
Bob
all
Bunny in the
costs.
form of bars from a boon. Yeah. Make that rap.
I will lay down my life for this bunny.
Dude, you haven't even heard one of the most fun parts of my character.
Okay.
There we will.
So we got the second. All right. So now, all right. So Bob, that means that you will not be you cannot be the chosen again tonight, and that will also give you immunity next week as well. So that's for both of you. Now, just in case we do, for some strange reason, have another triggering of the surprise die tonight, I need Lydia to roll a d6 for me, please.
Coming right up.
And we're almost down to a D4.
We are down to a D4.
Yeah.
All right.
Did a 1.
That will be a 2. Not a 1.
Okay.
Hang on, guys. I know this. This is the Fibonacci sequence.
Oh crap! It is.
The odds are getting ever smaller that we'll roll a 1 again.
I'm actually having to re-roll the surprise die here to see. Okay. So we have our third chosen for the night. Now, if we either have somebody else donate a trigger, well, we won't be able to take another donation for that tonight because we do need to get out of here in a little bit. So there's nothing else in this room. There is a doorway immediately ahead of you. There are also 2 doors in back of you. The 2 doors in back of you line up with the door that you came through. So you have a choice of 3 doors.
Hey guys, come in here. Let me get the rest of the brain.
Enter. Those statues, is there anything about them? Like that? Do they depict certain people? Is there any writing on them?
They do look to be they're all smashed, but they do seem to be if you're able to determine that they would probably be over 7 foot tall if they were properly assembled.
Big boys.
And
Can we tell if they were smashed by like some type of battle, like on purpose, or smashed, like crumbled due to old age?
Give me an investigation check. Do you know anything about stonework?
No, I don't have any particular knowledge. Does anybody else have particular knowledge in that may want to take that over?
Not about stonework, but history might apply.
All right.
I might
you can
assist
give
with that.
you can give her your modifier to help her out.
+5.
I have expertise in history +7.
Ooh. Y'all are the smart ones.
Huge.
So, history roll?
Yeah,
Okay.
with +12.
Yeah, we're all puzzling over it.
Yes.
So 26.
Okay, you're able to discern and put a few of the pieces together, and you can see that there are certain striations in the statue. In this one particular statue, you're able to piece together one basically, and it's a Goliath. And you can tell that something smashed this. There are some pieces that are not there, especially in the region of the chest. There seems to have been like a mammoth blow that had been delivered into the chest of this one statue you were able to piece back together.
How many statues are in there again?
There were 2 or 3 statues in there. They all of you have been able to discern that they would be roughly the same height, that they would all be Goliaths.
Big boys, big whacks.
That's historically interesting.
Evenly spaced, do they look like they were carved, sculpted statues, or do they look like they might have ever been alive?
Interesting question. They do look like they were sculpted, though. These seem to have been artistically created.
All right.
But very good question. All right.
So are the doors still just the wooden doors like we came through, or are the doors that are leaving this room any different?
The two doors that would line up with the door that you came through, they are both wooden doors. They're unlocked. One of them is a little stuck, but a little bit of elbow grease you discern can easily be opened up.
Which one's stuck?
It's the furthest one. So it's the one that's all the way down about on the it's pretty
So the
much
one at the other end.
the one at the other end, yeah.
Okay. And just everybody else is looking at the statuary. Is there anything else interesting about the room itself?
No, not really. You do notice that the bases of the statues were spaced out about like 10 feet apart or so, because this room is about 80, 90 feet long by about 8. It's about, actually, no, it's about 100 feet long by about 80 feet wide.
Okay. And any writing on the bases of the statues at all?
No, there's no discernible language anywhere in the room. There's no carvings of runes or any kind of nameplates or nomenclature of any sort.
Is there anything that looks valuable?
Not now.
Yeah.
The pieces that are missing from the statue, are they pieces that you can discern on the floor, or are they just kind of missing from the actual room?
It looks like they were smashed to smithereens. Like it looks like some kind of huge blow hit the statue like right in the chest and like just caved.
Okay.
It just reduced the chest to dust, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Diazir is going to check all the doors and find out what she said, and then go to the door that's to the right of where they came in.
Yeah, I'll help her check all the doors also so I can catalog them and their distinctions.
Okay, I'm just going to give it to you that the two doors that are in the room on the same side of the room as the door that you came in, they actually line up with each other. It's like it's a one-way corridor going between the two doors.
Okay.
So it's just a little waste of time space.
Doesn't matter. Them's the rules. Okay. So then we go to the door at the end of the hall.
Okay. All right. So you're going to go to the door at the end of
the room.
The door at the end of the room. This door is kind of stuck.
Stuck, like not trapped, just stuck.
Yeah. I'll give it if I would tell you to roll if it was something that was trapped. It seems to be stuck tight.
Does Demetra see her struggling to try to push it or pull it open?
Well, I was actually going to try to look at it to see if I could figure out how it's stuck first.
It doesn't seem to be. It's not bolted or locked or anything like that. It just seems to be like wedged in there for some reason.
I'm gonna shove it.
Okay, what's your strength?
My total strength is 18.
Can I help him?
I will help shove it.
All right. What's your strength modifier? Dimitri?
+4.
+4, and Danos?
1.
All right, so that's add +5 to your roll then, Squeaks.
Cool. It's off the table. Where'd it go? Okay, I rolled a 17 plus 9.
17 plus 5. Wait, you said 5?
9.
Yeah, because I've got a +4.
Oh, you're plus. Okay. So 26.
26 then. Yeah.
26.
Okay.
I can't
Wow.
math.
You break the door down as you push it.
Little bunny just shoves the door.
Yeet.
Just
What
one
would be
kick of
even
those bunny
what would be
legs.
fantastic is if he's shoving it and I'm above him shoving it, but he can't see me, so he thinks that he's actually broken the door down.
I mean,
You-
17 + 4, I would have gotten it.
So you push open this door, and almost immediately your senses are overcome by this horrific smell of decay and death. And Demetra, you get this strange taste in your mouth of ash as you see two mammoth ogre zombies shambling towards you.
Oh,
And that's where we're going to end tonight.
And you were judging me for taking my arm blade
Knew it.
out when we opened the door. Come on.
I wasn't
You
judging
never know
you for
what's
taking
behind
out
the
a weapon.
door.
I was judging you for having an arm blade.
Where else am I supposed to keep it? I don't have belts. I don't have a backpack.
On your sheath like a normal person?
I don't have a sheath.
Oh, awesome.
she's not
we
normal.
just got word.
She's special.
I'm neither normal nor a
We
person.
just got word. Our total that we made for tonight for Jasper's game day is $570.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you
That's
very,
awesome.
very much.
So
Friends and
awesome.
Fiends.
Thank you.
This
Well done.
community is amazing.
Yes.
And the thing is, we got 2 trigger rolls tonight. We got 2 surprise die rolls of $150. So
Right?
that is so fantastic. Thank you all very much. You know what I am going to do? I am going to actually let you hold on to those rolls for next week
Oh.
because we
You're the
did blow
nicest.
past the goal that we had set. So we're going to keep those. Somebody has a record of what the rolls are and everything.
We can probably get one before we exit
Yes.
the chat.
Oh, are you talking
We
about like how
have-
many rerolls we have? And
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Five.
I know I've got a 20 and a
Rerolls.
reroll. Maybe I'll give
Our
that to
off-screen
somebody.
oracle has said we will have a record of the rolls.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So, there you go. You have entered into this mystery dungeon. You have come together. And we are going to hightail it on out of here because it's very late, especially for one of us.
Yes, I am already starting makeup removal to be efficient.
I see that. So, but that's perfectly fine. Friends and fiends, kindly give your kind attention to our players, who will tell you where you can find them around the interwebs and whatnot. And we're going to start with D.E.L.V.E.R.S.
Oh, that's me.
Oh,
Okay.
that's you.
Dear
That's me.
one.
Surprise.
So I'm D.E.L.V.E.R.S, also known as Celine. You can find me on Twitter at Celine. You can also find me streaming on Twitch at Celine. You will, for the next few weeks, find me right here every Wednesday playing D.E.L.V.E.R.S, and I'm so excited. My next stream will be Saturday. Yeah, my next stream will be Saturday. Normally it would be Friday, but I've got an appointment. So yeah, Saturday. Twitch.tv/Celine. Come hang out.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Traveler Farlander.
That is me. You can find me spending far too much time on Twitter at TW sporadically on Twitch at Traveler Farlander. I occasionally post, don't joke, we occasionally post videos on YouTube for the show How Else Do We Roll, talking about TTRPGs that are not the 5th edition of the world's most famous game. And You can also occasionally find me as a character player on the Dice Fiends podcast.
Excellent. Hi, Lydia.
Hello, Dragon. You can find me, Lydia Gaz, at Twitter, at Lydia_Gaz, that's Gaz. And I will be here every Wednesday night playing this fantastic game with some fantastic people. So I'm very excited.
And we're excited too. Oh, I had such a good time tonight. All right, now, Mr. Bigby. Click.
Hello, yes, I am the Big B. You can find me on Twitter at Bigby's Hand. You can also find me on Twitch at Bigby's_Hand. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, except for this week, because this week is weird because I'm moving. Yep, that's where you can find me.
You're leaving me all alone, Bigby.
I'm sorry. I normally stream every Saturday with Celine. We do Survival Saturday every Saturday, except for this Saturday, because I'll be in a car driving double-digit hours across the country.
You'll still be doing Survival Saturday, just not the fun Survival
Just in a
Saturday
different
with
kind
me.
of survival.
Yes, I will try to survive the 13-hour drive ahead of me.
I made that drive. I don't envy you.
All righty then. Well, good luck on the move. Be careful.
Yeah.
Survive, Bigby. Survive the real life.
All right, Bob, you're up next.
I mean, you'll occasionally find me lurking in chat, but not really anywhere else.
Okay, then.
Wait a minute. Bob, I hear you have TikTok.
Dude, we don't talk about my TikTok.
Okay, we don't talk about TikTok.
The first rule of TikTok is you don't talk about TikTok.
I just said I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
Somebody broke the rules. They must die.
Now they got it. Now they got to give their soap bars back. Okay, and Lori, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oh no!
How dare!
Nope,
no.
still muted.
Still gone.
It's the
It
double
appears that you
goblin.
are now muted on
Besides
Zoom and probably muted on your headphones too.
Yes, you're coming up.
You're muted on
on
Zoom.
in the Zoom.
Nope. Still muted.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's still coming up mute.
Wait.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
So this is way crappier quality because this is coming through my webcam. But
Okay.
That's okay, we can still hear you.
hey, I'm Lori. My mic apparently decided to crap out on me at just this moment in time. Not to worry though. I was actually not muted, so it's not my fault. This is how I usually look. I have skin, contrary to popular belief. And I stream at Chaotic Lawful Inc. I've been active in chat, and Strike was so kind to just shout me out there, chaoticlawful_inc on Twitch. I do variety gaming, I do mental health awareness, and I do D&D on Saturday evenings my time, which is probably like afternoon for most of you that are watching, because I am European, so I stream at like slightly more European times. We have a long-standing running campaign on Saturday evenings, but we are going on hiatus to kind of like take a refresher from that campaign that we've been playing for over a year now. But in the meantime, with the same player group, this is actually an exclusive announcement because I haven't announced it anywhere else yet. We're going to be doing some Candlekeep mysteries with some guests. And
Nice.
to kind of like, get the same players, but different characters, different vibes, get some mysteries going. And kind of like, take a break from the same campaign we've been playing in for a while, and to then come back with renewed energy. My next stream is actually tomorrow at 8 p.m. CET, which is, 9 p.m. usually CET, which is 3 p.m. EST. And that's usually around the time that I stream. I'm doing a Dragon Age playthrough. I'm almost done
Nice.
with Origins, so I'm excited. I've never played it before, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm hyped. So, yeah, that's me. I Twitter a
Okay.
lot at Lawmaster Lori.
And I got to say again, I appreciate so much you staying up so late to play with us.
Of
Because
course.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're all here. Oh, Friends and fiends, I am, of course, your humble dungeon master, D.E.L.V.E.R.S. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Draconic Verses, one word. You can also follow me at D&D Surprise Party, that is without the U, because Twitter only allows 15 characters for the name, and there are 16 letters in D&D Surprise Party with the U, but they took the U out.
It was
Damn.
a surprise.
So, you can find me on here, on Twitch, Dungeon Mastering for Chaotic Tiefling on Wednesday nights. You can also find me at my own channel soon of Ye Old Dragon. I will be starting up finally, now that I have everything set to go here. I'll finally be able to start running my character building stream, which will probably feature a few familiar faces here and there.
Yay.
And of course, in the chat, I'm sure our offstage oracle has already put up ye old exclamation point forsooth, which can lead you to my TeePublic shop. Friends and fiends, I do thank you from the bottom of my heart for these donations tonight. We had the goal of 500. We made 570. Thank you so very much. It's going to a great cause, to Jasper's Game Day. Thank you to Jasper's for letting us hook up with you this year. We look forward to doing even more with you next time. So, I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you, of course, to our wonderful offstage oracle, Babs the Bat.
Yay.
And I would be remiss also if I didn't mention that. As I said earlier, all of us know each other through the wonderful Shakespearean program put on by Chaotic Tiefling once a month, and that would be What Streams May Come. And our next production will be Henry the Fifth, I believe.
Yep, in June.
In June. You can go to the Chaotic Tiefling ATL Twitter address, and they'll give you all the information over there, because that is, of course, hosted by the wonderful Bloodhaven Bard and at Jessica Skellington, and Finnegan Archer, our wonderful hosts with the mosts. And I
got one more thing.
One more thing.
I believe
of course.
We've got Arthurian Legends this Sunday.
I was just about to ask somebody if there was a game coming up for you.
Speaking of Bloodhaven Bard and Jessica Skellington.
The 16th.
Yes.
Right here at 11 a.m. Eastern Time this Sunday, Utharian Legends, featuring Big B's Hand.
Big B's Hand.
Also
Jessica Skell.
Jessica Skell.
Strike Red Kite as the amazing DM. Gloriosa.
Goblin.
And Robo Goblin.
Yes.
Yes.
An outstanding cast. It's a lot of fun, by all means. They are, well, I don't know about sister show, but brother show, cousin show, redheaded stepchild, I don't know. Anyway,
it's the morning show. The morning show. This is the evening show.
It's the morning show, and this is the evening show. Good evening.
I have one more plug, real quick.
All right.
I promise. Ahead. Okay, so everybody saw TTRP gifts do their voting for the award show. The award show has been announced. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but it will be streamed May 22nd here at TTRPG Gifts at 7 Eastern Time. RoboGoblin is doing a whole award show. So go follow TTRP Gifts on Twitter and Twitch. So you get notifications when it goes live. Come hang out. There are trophies. There might even be, award thank yous.
Okay, excellent. So, and just to let you know, because we did not have the last surprise die triggering, I'm actually going to keep that chosen a secret, and they will be the chosen next week. So that's how that's going to play out.
Do
So
we have a third
we
one?
actually won't be doing a die roll to determine the chosen. It's already going to be. They're already the chosen a week early.
Lydia rolled.
Yeah, Lydia rolled to
Lydia rolled
choose
for that,
them.
yeah.
We just didn't get to actually like
Didn't happen yet.
possibly trigger it.
That's right.
The
So
third one.
that would have been the third one, yes. So,
Get it.
friends and fiends, thank you very much for coming by tonight. We're so very glad that you did. Thank you again for getting us past our goal tonight. And remember, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. If you have to go out, please wear that mask, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get through this. Even with the vaccine, you should definitely still be wearing that mask.
Buy a D.E.L.V.E.R.S mask.
And by all means, take care of each other and take care of yourself. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.